Imagine for a moment that the sounds of the world fade away. The noise of traffic, phone notifications, the beating of your own heart. Everything stops. You stand before a door that has no lock on the outside. It only opens from the inside. That door is the end of biological life, but according to mystical tradition and the testimonies of those who have returned, it is merely the prologue to true existence. Today we are not going to talk about children's myths or cartoons with tridents. We are going to descend into the depths of hell, walk through the purifying corridors of purgatory, and listen to the voices of those who, after crossing the threshold, return to warn us that nothing we do on earth is forgotten. Prepare yourself, because this journey is not meant to entertain you, but to make you question every decision you make from this day forward. Modern theology often softens the concept of hell, calling it a state of mind. But the saints who claim to have visited it don't use gentle metaphors. They describe it as a physical and spiritual reality so overwhelming that human language can barely begin to grasp it. The vision of Saint Faustina Kowalska. In October 1936, by God's command, this Polish nun was taken to the depths of hell. She writes something chilling in her diary. It is a place of great torture. How terribly vast it is. She didn't see ordinary fire, but a fire of hatred. A darkness that, despite being total, allowed souls to see one another, recognizing the evil they had inflicted. The greatest sorrow, she says, is not physical pain, but eternal remorse. The knowledge that one had the opportunity to love and chose contempt. The testimony of Howard Storm. A striking contemporary case is that of Howard Storm, an art teacher and militant atheist. In 1985, he suffered a perforated intestine. While awaiting surgery, he clinically died. He recounts being guided by voices that seemed friendly but led him into a dense fog. There, the shadows turned violent. There were no flames of sulfur, but rather human cruelty multiplied infinitely. The beings there tore each other apart, driven by absolute hatred. Howard understood that hell is the place where God grants you your darkest desire, to live without him forever. Reflection. Hell is the destiny of those who say, "My will be done, not yours." It is human freedom taken to its ultimate and tragic consequence. Often confused with a temporal hell, purgatory is, in reality, an invention of mercy. It is the place for those who die in a state of grace, but whose garments are still stained. Saint Catherine of Genoa and the Inner Fire. She explained that purgatory is not an external punishment. It is like a golden object that has fallen into the mud. The fire of purgatory is the desire for God. The soul sees how beautiful God is and how unclean it is itself, and it is this very shame that impels it to throw itself into the purifying fire. It is a voluntary suffering. The soul wants to cleanse itself before entering the royal banquet. The testimony of Maria Sima, a simple woman from Austria who, for decades, claimed to be visited by blessed souls. She recounted that the souls in purgatory do not ask for their suffering to be taken away, but rather that prayers be offered for them so that the process may be expedited. According to her accounts, there are different levels. Deep purgatory, where those who committed grave sins and did not make reparation in life reside. There, the suffering resembles hell, but with the critical difference that there is the certainty of salvation. The purgatory of nostalgia, where the soul simply suffers from not yet being able to see the face of Christ. The story of the burnt hand in Rome. In Rome, there is a small museum called the Museum of the Souls in Purgatory. It houses objects with burnt handprints on books and tablecloths. The case of Mother Isabel Brancati is famous. It is said that a deceased sister appeared to her and left the mark of her hand on a wooden table to ask for prayers, saying that the fire she felt was so real that a single second there felt like a century. Why are these stories so similar across the centuries? From medieval mystics to patients in modern hospitals in New York or Tokyo, the pattern repeats itself. A review of life. The particular judgment, many NDE, near-death experience, accounts describe a movie of their life. It's not the great achievements that are judged, but the small omissions. The pain we caused others is felt. A hurtful word spoken 20 years ago is felt with the same intensity as the crack of a whip. The danger of indifference. The message for the audience is clear. Eternity doesn't begin when you die. It begins today. Every time you forgive, you are extinguishing a bit of that purifying fire. Every time you hate or are indifferent to the pain of others, you are building the walls of your own abyss. Purgatory teaches us that God is just. Hell teaches us that God respects our freedom. If you choose to live as if others don't exist, as if God were a myth, you are cultivating eternal loneliness. If you are listening to this, you still have the most precious thing a soul in purgatory could wish for, time. Time is the only currency you can exchange for mercy. The testimonies of the saints are not meant to frighten us, but to awaken us from our spiritual sleepwalking. Life is short, a breath between two darknesses. But what we do in that breath determines whether we will awaken in the embrace of infinite love or in the cold of our own pride. Look around you. Ask forgiveness from those you have hurt. Help those you can. Because at the end of the day, as St. John of the Cross said, in the twilight of life, we will be judged only on love. May this video not be just another story, but the spark that moves you to clean your mirror before the fire itself has to do it. Let's spread the word of God together. Share this video with someone who needs it today.